12 when the frontliners have magic defense items.
Honestly, especially with the Joy in the late game, the ref is just telling you, protect yourself,
Yeah,
keep your
exactly.
hands up, I can't.
They could start looking at the more flexible picks.
I mean, if we're talking about flexible picks, I mean the Zushin, right? The Zushin makes every composition feel really, really nice, especially when you need to fall back onto an anchor that doesn't die very often. Zushin comes to mind straight away. No surprises here, they're going to be locking it in. Now, what is RRQ's response?
Okay, with the Jushin over there, honestly, I think they'd want to go for the Cho and Suyo.
Cho Valentina doesn't look too bad as well. We just see Valentina take the Crimson Beacon, and you don't need to spend time just holding out your lantern, right? You are consistently doing damage. You are technically a lot more mobile than Jushin with the Crimson Beacon, so you can make use of it. They've been playing Gatot Kacha 2 games in a row as well for Dyrant, but in this case, you'd probably just go for your mid lane.
They might actually just chase damage to get the Herald. Okay, so it was the Cho Suyo that I mentioned earlier, so...
You called it, but here's the concerning part. I feel like at this point, if they're going to devolve back into a regular RRQ style of play, I think they're going to hold their gold laner all the way to the very end here. I feel like if they show the potential answers to the Zushin, like 1-1 like we saw last time, it's going to get hard countered by the Irithel. So there's got to be a give and take.
Under the condition that Twisted Minds doesn't get the read and ban the 1-1, right?
Exactly,
Like
yes.
I think if you're Twisted Minds, you might be looking at your gold laner now.
Yeah.
So you can start shutting down what Skylar has for options. So they take the Gatot away first, and the Hilo, so very honest.
Okay.
So they're both now fighting for that gold laner.
They just went ahead for the tanky boys. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it, but at this point, I think you want to consider either the Aurora or the...
Yeah, I think you pick 1-1.
Oh, wow. They just won one right away.
Yeah.
Because you saw Hylos and Gatot, right? You saw Hylos, Gatot, and if you don't take 1-1, she's gonna get banned out.
Exactly.
This guy is gonna start scratching his head like, what am I gonna play?
Now you just need to get rid of the bad 1-1 matchups, and then you're kind of set for the rest of the matchups. Unless it kind of depends where Twisted Minds wants to go, right? Because at this point, if we're thinking about bad matchups from the gold lane, all right, that's not what Twisted Minds is concerned about. They're more concerned about, hey, we've already shown our flex pick at this point. There's got to be a jungle pick that needs to open up and find these opportunities, and it may not necessarily be an assassin. I'm hoping that Alpha might be taken into consideration here. That might be something that RQ might bans out. No, if they're going for Nolan, I'm expecting the Alpha to follow suit, right?
Yeah, I really appreciate this Nolan ban here by RQ, because when you mentioned the Alpha, I agree with you, but then I realized, oh, there's still a 1-1 on the other side. That's a little bit happier for the 1-1 now, because you have the Alpha, the Gatot, and the Hylos now to potentially mark down and hit with a crossbow of tank. So they took away what they needed, which was the best burst physical marksman that's, assassin that's hard to catch by taking out the Nolan.
Yeah, it also eliminates the potential of something like a Frederick, right? If Twisted Minds ever considers that, because you don't want another beach, you don't want another like crossbow tank setup for the 1-1.
It's a free setup, but at the same time, this composition may be thick, but it needs something that scales, right? That's where where all of our heads are at currently.
Yeah, so Granger is also one, because it outranges 1-1.
Oh, that's a good point.
And again, right, you not only eliminate him from the goal lane, but also the jungle, unless we see something like a... I feel like we probably just devolve back to Hayabusa. Or if we go down even further, maybe the Julian for Twisted Minds, but I've not seen Hoda play that. The Joy, maybe?
It's a little tough, right?
Yeah,
because Alpha and Julian are both in that same boat where it's like, it's kind of hard to get in range of 1-1 anyways, so that means you're probably going to have to look for other ways on the map to actually punish your opponents, take away that front line maybe. That's why I'm leaning a little bit more into the Alpha, but I think that RQ, now that they banned out the Granger on top of everything else, it's, I mean, where are we going to go with this?
Minds might consider wanting to ban the Phobius here.
If there's any day for Phobius ban. So they banned the Valentina. I can respect that, right? Like you have good ultimates for Valentina to steal. Like Glorious Pathway, AOG, Crimson Beacon.
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, some Valentinas aren't afraid to duel up against and get close to Juicin in the laning phase, and those Valentinas often win. Yeah. I mean, you still have the Vexana available for him, and I mean, one of the classic answers to the Hylos and the Gatot Gacha.
Oh, this is interesting.
Oh, so it's a clue. Yeah. Solves kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Hylos, Gatot does not matter.
Yeah.
Who is going to kill the glue?
It might not have enough damage, because even if you draft something like a Herald here, then the presence of the glue is difficult.
So it's a Moscow Joy again.
Oh,
though this time they do have tools that enables the Joy a lot more, right? It's not like the previous game where you're getting stopped by a Ruby. There's no room for a Ruby right now for RQ. That mid lane though, the Vex now feels better.
Yeah.
It's great now.
I think you kind of don't have a choice at this point, right?
Yeah.
Your Aurora was probably going to be like the best way to handle it. Even the Valentinas, they all deal with these melee heroes very, very well at mid range. Now it's going to be like high execution. If you miss your fear, you're basically as good as dead.
Yeah.
I wonder if Twisted Minds also picked up the Joy, thinking that maybe RQ are thinking of just picking something weird like a Faramis because of the aggressive teamfight that you can chase after that. So,
that's one way to deal with it. That's one person that the Joy does not want to get on top of.
What is more Indonesian than a Kadita pick in mid?
Yeah.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting match.
Minds, they have to make a big adjustment from that very quick game victory from RQ Hoshi in the last one. Can they replicate what they did in game one with this lineup? We'll find out because it's about to happen.
On one side, a kingdom representing the pride of a nation, and on the other, a squad representing the hopes of a region one step away from reaching top 8 for the first time. Only one may remain undefeated into the M6 knockouts. Will it be Twisted Minds or RRQ Hoshi?
Right now, Rin's taking some damage, but he's going to be fine. Also, the Kadita, the fact that this comes out at this point in the tournament is great. You know, we've seen previews of this before, but what a fitting way to go ahead and grab a victory if it is RRQ Hoshi. And now Twisted Minds, on the other hand, like they mentioned, you know, with this, whoa, actually already very aggressive from Rins. Troll goes in with the Unbreakable.
A good knock-up, 3-man Jeet Kune Do. Sujin not able to follow up though, and now it's Mike-sama even coming to join the party.
Wow.
And no casualties so far.
No casualties, 2 flickers used though from RQ Hoshi. Cuffin will take some damage here. He's going to be fine as the mid lane still fighting for control.
Yep, Cho gonna get pulled back, taunted as well by Troll. Concussive Blast doing a lot of damage. Cuffin pulling Edok back one more time, but not quite enough damage to finish him off.
Threading the needle there, Edok. The fact too that, again, he didn't have the flicker. Surprised he was able to go ahead and withstand that. So still, neither team getting the first blood. Still trying to set the pace, and I think that's the thing too, you know, this Mozkov Joy pick this time around might work better for Twisted Minds than in the previous one, just because of the fact that they have, you know, their bases covered when it comes to the initiation, when it comes to the front line. They're running a double Revitalize composition too, so they're really trying to extend some of those fights and withstand a lot of that damage that will be kind of bursty early on from RQ Hoshi, especially with the Kadita. And then you have the 2 Purifies, so they have a lot of sustainability and utility that they can work with this time for game number 3 on RRQ Hoshi. Playing into it, Skylar and, wow, Sano going 1v1.
Yeah, Purify used by Sano, but Skylar showing superior skill. First blood claimed on the Moskov, and now on the Turtle Pit, so Sujin on top. We're gonna see the blue jump in with the split set up for the rough waves. Troll surviving all of it with the Revitalize, and still going in with the passive, still surviving. Sujin gets the turtle, Rin's gonna be traded away. Troll still alive after everything, and Direct gonna get pulled back by the Zuzin one more time. That's gonna be 2 kills for Twisted Minds in the Turtle Pit. Edok jumps in, gets the knockup. Sujin lands on Troll as well, finally picking up the kill his teammates could not get.
They weren't going to let Twisted Minds get all that, and then, of course, not get a kill on top of the turtle that RQ Hoshi gets. But yeah, you saw it, you know, how surprising it is when you have 2 Revitalizers to be able to go ahead and withstand a lot of that damage and extend those fights. But also in the gold lane, the fact that Skylar gets that 1v1, gets an item a little bit of ahead here, picking up that Corrosive Scythe already, so still also a level ahead against Sano. He's going to have to rely. Sano needs the help of the team to allow himself to get back into this, at least the matchup for a little bit, because right now with Skylar having this advantage against the Mozkov and having the notion of, okay, I have momentum in my favor, it's going to be really difficult for Sano to try to go ahead and go face-to-face against a 1-1. And that's not even considering the fact that later on, you know, Skylar, we've seen this earlier in the tournament when he loves to pick this 1-1 and gets the airtime he needs, has items, and just turns fights around. And I guess that's, again, why you have this double revitalized composition. You want to be able to withstand it. And then the winter crowns will come into play later. But still, as Twisted Minds tries to keep things from, you know, getting too out of control, they're working against just a 1,000 gold deficit at this point.
Yeah, I think what RQ Hoshi is going to be identifying right now is that Skylar has already gotten a much bigger lead in the gold lane than you would have previously expected. They're going to try and extend that pressure over the rest of the map as well. This is already a composition that's very well designed for the one.
Skylar.
And, hold on, Sano being focused again. Skylar actually able to get the crossbow attack, but not quite enough as the AOG comes in. Taunt on Skylar. He cannot connect the crossbow attack. Sano keeping his distance. The rest of RRQ too late to save their gold laner. They'll transition over to the Turtle Pit instead, but Twisted Minds already in control of it. And they should be able to zone them out and take it.
See what happens. Sujin's just around the corner. They're going to fight for it, though. Split already used. Turtle for the taking.
Sujin jumps in, steals it away from Twisted Minds as Toda is kicked away by Edok. Now the split jumps onto Mike Sama. Will they be able to get the pull in? Blade Surge from Suchijin lands. Troll and Mike Sama though, so
they're going.
tricky. Edok with the final knock up, and that's gonna set up for an evil quelling as Skylar also picks off Coffin in the mid lane.
Man, earlier on, I was going to say, you know, it was unfortunate Skylar couldn't get the crossbow of Tang off that he was looking for. Very aggressive on it, gets punished, but then later on, after all that fight breaks out for the turtle, he comes in, gets a kill this time, so he's back on track. And Twisted Minds, when they go into these fights around the objectives, you know, it looks like it should be in their favor. They have the proper tools to make it work. But RQ Hoshi's been pretty good at getting those battle spells out if they need to get the Revitalizers or the Glorious Pathway for one, and even the AOG earlier on because of that gold lane initiation. So that tier 1 turret's gonna go down, but top side, Rinse.
Gonna get caught out with a taunt. Rough Wave is used defensively just to escape from Twisted Minds. But Electrifying Beats was also committed by Hoda. Now we can see Dyren gonna get pulled back, but I don't think either team is looking for a fight right now.
This is what RQ Hoshi and teams like them love to do here, Safa. You know, little by little, they'll go ahead and focus down the objectives, whether that's the turtles, whether that's those early turrets down, and even the way they manage the farm, you know, in the jungle and then in the lane. They start to build up on these leads, but before you know it, it's out of control. And with this point, you're at 3K ahead against Twisted Minds, who has a lineup that obviously needs a little bit more time to build up here. It kind of gets difficult in a situation where Twisted Minds has to be able to go and maybe be a little more reactive to what RQ Hoshi does, because most of the time, it's either going to be Edok that starts those fights or starts those skirmishes up. And with this, the last turtle of the game is going to come up. Troll picks up that Radiant Armor. He's going to need it for the amount of magic damage thrown at him. Mid lane, though, Cuffin also being checked here, and this RQ Hoshi, they'll get in position. I'm not sure if there's much of a contest here from Twisted Minds, but they might still try it as Hoda makes his way, but he might be too late.
Rin's gonna get pulled back, but here comes the stun from Dyren. They're gonna be able to get away with the Dragon on Troll as well, and Crossbow Tank's already set up. Rough Wave's also committed as Skylar takes to the skies and starts doing some damage, but the AOG gonna cancel a lot of it out. Troll's still gonna be taken out though, and Dyren pulling Mike Sama back in. Here comes the Spear of Destruction, but I don't think he wants to commit to it, even though Edok is low. That is a double kill as RQ Hoshi take 2 and the turtle.
I think they're going to take more as this tier 1 finally the mid lane goes down, and great usage of this glue pick. You know, Dyren able to go with the split and drag people back right into the fight, right on the mark. Exactly what they needed with the lineup that they have. Twisted Minds really struggling still in the team fight. I mean, looking at the items too, they don't really have that much firepower. You know, you got a Genius Wand here for Hoda, and you're hoping to help, you know, make it work with Cuffin on this Jushin pick. But even so, Sano, 2 items locked in. You see the gold difference between the gold laners. You know, 1,500 up for Skylar right now. He hurts. You know, he's got the Trinity, he's got the Corrosive Sight, DHS, and Malefic Roar. That's enough to go ahead and do damage to even the front line and the sustainability that Twisted Minds brought to this game. And so they need a lot more time to be able to go and actually fight. And that's why Skylar, as aggressive as he's been since the beginning of the game, even when he got punished early on, he's still going to do that. Oh, Spirit Destruction
connects on Skylar, but he has Purify, and now you see the Purify from Sano as well, but you cannot Purify Death. Rough Wave finds him. Crossbow Tang already prepared. Electrifying Beats doing a lot of damage from Hoda on the sideline, but Sutsujin still on top of him. They've lost Rins, but they traded for Hoda after killing 3. Double kill for Sutsujin. Triple kill as 4 members of Twisted Minds are
There's another.
They're looking for one more. Split land. Maniac for Sutsujin as RQ Hoshi run over their opponents.
Yeah, that's not what you want to happen if you're Twisted Minds. A maniac for Sutsujin and Skylar as well. And I'm going to commend again Dyren, able to just go and pop off on this glue, even under the turret, drag people back for those secured kills for the team. Just perfect synergy from RQ Hoshi right now. This game number 3. That'll all get them this Lord as well. First one of the game. Twisted Minds in a position where, you know, they don't even really want to go and fight right now, because even if they do, even if, let's say, they get the perfect setup with an Avatar of the Guardian or, you know, just cutting off the Glorious Pathway, they're outgunned and outfarmed right now. This is going to be very difficult to even defend the base turrets on this first Lord push, as they do try to hold on to this tier 2. Well, Susujin early on. Hold on, pressure already put.
Yep, Dyran trying to jump in, gets CC'd by Coffin, but the Glorious Pathway utilized defensively already as the bottom tier 2 is just gone like
Wow.
that. Skylar
Mike
picks
Sama.
up the crossbow of Tang, gonna commit to it. Revitalize, not gonna keep Mike Sama alive. Mega kill for Skylar as RQ sets up for the continued Lord push.
RQ Hoshi wants to do what they did in game 2. They're on track to do it as all these shields are going to be popped, and now the top turret goes down even before the Lord makes it. A 10,500 gold lead at this point, 10.5 minutes in. They might look to close it out already. Twisted Minds has to come up with a defense of a lifetime to stay in it and to turn things out. They'll clear out the Lord, but the bottom turret's going to be worked on. And finally, they do clear out the Lord, but base turrets will all be down and exposed, and Mike Samad jumps on in, trying to cut them off.
Comes out, electrifying beats on top of Dyran, but he's surviving all of it, even flickers out with the split, the glue, everything. And now RQ, it's go time, godlike streak for Susujin. Troll is gone. Twisted Minds with the 4v5 defense and trying to hold off the minion waves. Able to do a good job clearing them out the flicker. Jikundo with the dragon into the unstoppable streak. Legendary for Susujin. Skylar picking up one of his own. Only one minion left. Twisted Minds will finally take it out. Sano taking the Spear of Destruction, but not enough damage yet to punish RQ. They are still 5-man strong. Dyran jumps in. E-Dog jumps in. Sano trying his best, but he cannot stop them. They have attended every M-Series playoff to date, and they will continue doing so as RQ Hoshi make it to the next stage.
What a performance coming out here at RQ Hoshi. Game 2 and Game 3. Game 3 even faster than Game 2 at 11 and 08. Feeling really good about locking that in. And again, for Twisted Minds, they should also keep their heads up high because, again, across from them was a team established like this, RQ Hoshi, a dynasty in themselves. And they held their own, especially in Game 1, able to turn things around. A lot that they can learn here, but very quick victories that they faced in Game 2 and Game 3. But again, congratulations to RQ Hoshi for moving forward. Let's throw it over to the panel.
But Twisted Minds kept on going, and you just keep bleeding, right? You're not patching up your wounds, you eventually just bleed out to death.
Yeah, and in this series, I feel like it fully 100% confirms what you have to think of when you think of Susujin is this dude is a traditional carry. Whether it's with a melee type or, as he showed earlier, even though it lost, the Granger went insane in his hands in the jungle. This dude knows how to carry a team and be the main damage dealer for his team.
Yeah, even the journey for Susujin as a player is pretty interesting. When he joined Season 13 in MPIY under KGE, missed out on MSC, then when he went back to MPL ID, people were like, oh, it didn't work out in Malaysia, he's gonna go back to where he originally came from. Look where he is now, right? First team to advance to the knockout stage. If anyone out there is still doubting this little prince, I think it's time for you to change your mind.
I feel like Susujin reminds me of a fixed deposit, right? You invest a little bit into him, and then you kind of let him do his own thing for a little bit. Next thing you know, he's already made you 10x within less than a year.
Yeah, and this continues the trend for RQ Hoshi, wherein they are reaching the next stage first. They're one of the first, if not the very first team to make it to the MPL Indonesia playoffs in Season 14.